What will it mean
to an entire generation
of girls growing up playing flag football?
Imagine a whole worldwide movement
Led by girls
who were never even supposed to have the ball.
A sport not for girls.
We are redefining it. This isn't just a boys' sport. We are the first generation.
Learning strategy on the football field.
calling plays.
Rushing the passer. Throwing touchdowns.
I got the moves and the crew.
Have you seen my dip moves?
Any girl who picks up a football
and steps onto the field
de cualquier parte del mundo
is part of something much bigger.
We are here for a reason. We have a purpose.
I'm part of something bigger.
they're making history.
Making my parents proud.
My daughter, the quarterback? I like how that sounds.
Becoming leaders.
On and off the field.
Changing the game.
Every play, every down, every rep.
I want to represent my high school.
And build a legacy.
A college scholarship.
We're the first generation of girls who can look up to heroes and role models.
Like my cousin, Ashley.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
It's not just for us.
It's for the girls and women who come after us.
And for those that came before us.
Por mi hermana.
Por minha mãe.
Por mi abuela.
I dream of gold.
On the world's biggest stage.
Representando o meu país.
What will it mean to us?
To our future,
Is that a question?
I'll tell you right now.
Everything.
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 Please welcome to the stage Glenn Cole, Ashley Klam, Carolyn Braff, and Sarah Bishop.
All right. Hello, everyone. For those of you back from yesterday, welcome back. For those of you at Sport Beach for the first time, welcome. And I do want to shout out Beth, Reagan, the crew from team for putting this together. Phenomenal. Once again, thank you guys. We really appreciate the hospitality. Flag football. I'm joined by some incredible stars in the game. Some you may know, some you won't. The one to my left might be the next time you see her might be at LA 28 in the Olympics. That would be very cool. We're all hoping for that. But we're here to, so the room for you all, and for you, Ashley, especially, who performs like a 40-year-old in these things. This is a room full of marketers, creators, on the business side, on the creative side, in all aspects. And so we want to give you what we see from the inside of the game, where the opportunities are for brands, for creators, or for anybody on the run up to LA 28 and then beyond. Now, obviously, there's been incredible momentum. Look how many states have made it a varsity sport now. USC and UCLA and other D1 schools are tripping over themselves to get online with their flag programs. It's going to be an Olympic sport at LA 28. NFL is putting up a pro league for women next year. The momentum is kind of unprecedented. So before we get into where it's going from here, which is already incredible, how did we get here? Like, I want to ask each of you, how did we get to this moment from your perspective and where you sit in the ecosystem? I'm going to start with you, Sarah.
Yeah, I mean, people talk to me who don't know a lot about flag, like this has come out of nowhere, like it's exploded. But at the end of the day, and Ashley probably can speak to this the best, you know, flag hasn't just come about, it's just emerging now. There's always been sort of incredible stories of people, especially girls, who have been playing, excelling, creating communities around the sport. And I think what's really shifted is just like belief at scale. You know, I think it's like the cultural opinion of women's sports has shifted. Data is proven that, you know, there's demand now for flag. And I think that, you know, there's more pathways to play that have opened up than ever before. You mentioned it with high school, collegiate, and now with LA 28. You know, I think the Olympics are an accelerant, but they're not the foundation. LA 28 proved what we already knew, that flag has now earned its space and its position on the world stage.
Perfect. Carolyn.
Yeah, love to add to that. So this has happened because of people like Ashley and people like Deanna Flores and people like those high school girls in those 38 states who have pushed to get flag sanctioned because it's something that they love. And they've done it because they've grown confidence in watching other women show up in spaces that maybe they haven't been invited to before. So yes, there is growing investment, but it's the love of the game. The game is super fun, right? If any of you have played flag football, it's super fun and it's contagious. And having this group of girls and young women and men who've supported them stand up and say, I want to do this, help me make this a thing. That's how we get these high schools to sanction it. That's how we get the NCAA. That's how we get stars to then tell that story and some of that amazing content like what you just saw from the NFL.
Ashley, you've been in the game for how many years?
14.
Okay,
14
so
years.
from starting to now, what has shifted, not over maybe the beginning, but in the last 2 or 3 years from the player's perspective?
There's a funny story that I remember. Not really funny, but you look back at it now and you kind of are like, wow. The first time I stepped on a football field, I was laughed at. And I was wearing, pink mouth guard, pink little ponytails. And I remember hearing laughter from the other team and their parents as well. And looking back at that now, I'm like, wow, you messed up. You ignited something in me to make sure that there's never going to be another girl who gets laughed at for being on a football field. And that's one of the biggest things that it's different now, is that we don't get laughed at. We get praised. We are boosted up, and we're boosted up by people, by brands, by NFL, the league. We get boosted up now. And that's probably one of the biggest differences that I see, is that we know that there is a place for us on the football field, but other people are recognizing it now.
For those of you who didn't see NFL Honors last night, they now have a Flag Football Player of the Year. It's the second year running. Ashley was on stage with quarterback Jordan Love presenting that award, which is pretty badass.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was crazy. It was amazing.
Up-leveled. Carolyn, so Carolyn's a career sports and entertainment advocate for women's sports. So currently at Pepsi, has been there for over a decade. Obviously, brands like Gatorade have contributed plenty to sports, in some cases shaped its culture. You're in pretty early as beverage brands go with this particular sport. So what, for other brand marketers out here thinking about getting into the sport, what led you to invest in it? And I think in your world, a lot of the question is it ready for prime time? Does it need to prove itself first as a league or a sport? And you could argue it hasn't quite yet. It's getting there.
Oh, I'd argue we're proven.
Great.
If you watch any of these girls on the gridiron, it's proven. What we think about constantly at Gatorade is how do we keep filling our funnel with new athletes, right? Sports drinks only exist if kids are playing sports. There is tons of data out there telling us that kids are specializing earlier and earlier, which means they're burning out earlier and earlier, and we don't have that same pipeline of kids playing sports later into life. That's bad for a variety of reasons. We lose all the teamwork and confidence and leadership lessons that kids learn. It's also bad for business, right? We need athletes who think about being an athlete for life. And so for us, we're always looking for how do we keep that funnel full with kids playing sports, and particularly young girls that we know drop out at rates higher than boys. So when we see something like Flag that's relatively new, that we haven't touched before, and it's an opportunity for us to invest in those youth camps and tournaments, let's give it the credence that it deserves so it looks just like the way we support our NBA camps and our NFL camps. Those girls, they see that. They see brands showing up for them. They see that confidence driving. It helps them stay in sport longer. And so for us, we're always looking for what's the next emerging sport that we can go and support. Flag was a no-brainer, and having found partners like Deanna Flores to help tell her story and continue to elevate her and other girls in the game, that gets more people to play and stay in sport. That helps fulfill our brand mission of making sure that we're fulfilling athletic potential, and it helps these girls find something that truly lifts their passions.
In a master brand like PepsiCo, which has so many other brands, Gatorade's obviously a big supporter. I'm just curious, are there other brands under the PepsiCo umbrella who are in Flag other than Gatorade so far?
Not yet. So right now we are very thoughtful about the roles that our different brands play. So you'll see Pepsi is all about food, and food tastes better with Pepsi. Poppy is definitely our brand for vibes. So we have there's pieces of the portfolio that hit different buckets for us, and Gatorade is the place that we really want to support girls in Flag.
Cool. Other brands we speak to, a big part of their confidence comes from seeing how forward the NFL has been in its support of this sport, which I think initially was sort of a shock when we had our Super Bowl ad with Deanna Flores. That was an unexpected turn and up-leveling, at least in the public conscious. What, Sarah, when in your conversations at the NFL at headquarters, how does the NFL see its role in growing the league? I think some people here know why the business reason to do it, but what is the role and ambition?
Yeah, I mean, I think our role has evolved since we've started with Flag and continues to evolve. So, early days, our role was very much as the builder. That it was all about sort of how we continue to introduce the sport to new communities, how we open up access to the sport at multiple levels, and how we really invest in infrastructure, not just moments. As the sport has continued to develop, though, I think, our role has really shifted into being a key partner. The ecosystem is so broad now. You have incredible athletes like Ashley and Deanna. You have international federations, partners, corporate and community. And so, I think we recognize that the game doesn't move forward if we operate in a silo, but that really collaboration with all the stakeholders around the game is critically important. And then I think, as we think about evolution, our role also is to be stewards of the game, to make sure that that global growth doesn't come at the expense of equity and access. And I think that's really, really important in preserving the integrity of the game. And so I don't necessarily know that there is any one moment where we take our foot off the gas of any of those roles. I think we are constantly sort of in the background and playing foundational roles to ensure that, when any one organization or brand backs away from Flag, that it still has longevity and sustainability.
What can you just add on to that? So as the Olympics are coming up, so what do you see? What will the NFL's role be around the Olympics? Obviously, there's a narrative with the men, and some of the pros will play. We hear, but I know the league is also deeply invested in across the board, the men and the women.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to also our role as a partner, right? Not only will NFL players have the opportunity to try out, but I think the thing that I'm the most proud of is that there are incredible athletes, like the one here on stage with us, who we've been able to develop a relationship with. And, we've used our platform and our biggest stages. You brought up the Super Bowl spot that 72 beautifully created with Deanna Flores. Shout out. You brought that up, but we've put Flag on some of the biggest stages, and that's really been intentional because, for us, it's less about an ad and more about making a statement that Flag is real and it's here to stay and what that means for young women and girls around the world.
Ashley, so this is like incredible support from two of the biggest brands in the world, and you're sponsored by others. I mean, it is so awesome. As opportunities continue to grow, visibility grows, what do you or some of your peers feel like you need most to develop? What are you looking for? I, from knowing you, you're grateful for everything that happens, so that you're not one to ask for more. But where could other brands come in and help you in ways that maybe where you're not served yet, or not ideal, or where there's white space?
Absolutely. I mean, listening to both of y'all talk about how much flag football means to y'all and your brand, it is everything for a flag athlete to hear, because we push and we push and we push. And the past couple of years, y'all have pushed with us, and y'all have been on the side, and y'all have been, holding hands side by side, and we're making this movement together. I don't know if anybody saw, but Under Armour just did an amazing commercial.
Has anybody seen that?
Anybody seen it? It is amazing. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. It's so beautifully done. I don't have the words to describe it. It's just amazing. But what they did was set a new bar, and that is what we need in flag football. Is everyone setting a new bar, chasing it. Finding, okay, this commercial, this piece was so beautifully created. What can we do next? What can we get done to talk about flag football? And that's what we need. And that's what brands, I mean, they've also done such a great job. I feel like it's a race to see who's going to be one of the biggest flag football supporters, and the race is not done yet. And I don't think it's ever going to be done, because it's amazing. And it's an honor to be representing flag football at this space, to showcase to the younger generation that these brands in the league respects you and they want to see you shine. We're no longer in a place where people are trying to dull your shimmer, dull your shine. These brands want to help you and want to push you, and the younger generation needs to know that.
The hero development in that ad. She saw the ad, I think, did it break yesterday? Wednesday,
on National Girls and Women's Sports Day.
There you go. So you can find it online. I'm sure you can, if you follow Ashley. I'm sure she's got it on her site. But it's incredible because it has its own language. there is hero development, like we've seen for decades around the men and the men's game, which Under Armour is not a client. I'm not making a bid for it. I really like Eric Littke, who's running that thing. But as a fan of the sport, it's so uplifting to see them working with you to create a new language and a new hero set in this sport. So, and it's great for us to hear that you love that you enjoy the experience. Yeah.
That's great.
Okay. I do want to go back to Pepsi, because Pepsi also has recently, or Gatorade anyway, has recently did some work where you're blending flag, pro, tackle in one communications initiative. Can you talk about that, Carolyn, and why? Why the blend?
Athletes are athletes, and so we have a long history of showing dancers alongside football players and sprinters alongside basketball players, and again, that breadth of sport is what we want all people who are moving their body with purpose to see themselves in our brand. And so as we think about celebrating football, that should include flag as much as tackle. And so having someone like Deanna Flores on our roster, it was a great opportunity to put her in a spot with a bunch of NFL players and make her feel, football is football. We don't have to be another box. Sometimes it's great to lift up flag as something different and special, and sometimes it's just another brand of football. So we had a lot of fun creating that and putting that together. It won't be the last that you see from us, especially as we march toward LA 28, but super important for us to put her kind of in that same category of football players that we have across our full roster. One
Good
thing
job.
I'm super proud of. There was some hesitation when we first started putting storyboards together of, will men think less of the brand if you put women in the same spot? We knew, or we hypothesized women would think more of the brand, but will we lose the men? And the answer was overwhelmingly no. The scores were the same. In fact, we got a little bit of a bump for, again, having just a much more inclusive storytelling. So we made a commitment that all of our storytelling has become 50-50 male-female. So if we're ever doing an all-male spot, we will have an all-female spot to go with it. But the more we include men and women together in our advertising, it lifts the boat for everyone. Again, we need everybody to see themselves in our brand, and having great partners on the female side helps us do that really meaningfully.
That is awesome. Yes, that's worth applause. I want to build on that. When we first had a first conversation, can I use the R word, the roster word? Okay. She was talking about Deanna Flores and started in the context of our roster. And it just struck, I'm in plenty of meetings with brands where we talk about rosters with the NFL or other. But hearing PepsiCo talk about our athlete roster, that's an amazing evolution. You don't see a lot of non-direct performance brands, I know it's Gatorade, have rosters. How do you, if you just like squint and look ahead, how do you think about that roster?
Yeah, I have a lot of fun thinking about that roster. So as you think about everybody that you need to see themselves in the brand, our roster has to look like the people that drink Gatorade, which is like humans with mouths, right? So as we try to break that down into, well, who am I trying to solve for? Do I have a female flag football player that I love? Do I have enough Spanish-speaking athletes? Do I have LGBTQ plus representation on the roster? Every time we make a decision about who we're gonna work with, first and foremost, we're always looking for values. Do they share the same values that we have? Obviously, performance is important, but character is equally as important. And then we look collectively across all sports at the roster and say, does this feel like it showcases the communities that we serve and that we hope see themselves in our brand? And if not, we got to make some changes. So it's something that's constantly evolving. There's no magic number of how many athletes to have, but we want people that we work with to work with us. Science has to be top of mind for them, but we want to make sure that that is a really well-rounded snapshot of the people and the communities that we're trying to serve.
Create rosters for these women, you guys, if you're leading a brand. That is, I know there's brand ambassador groups, but create a roster. I think it puts a different relationship between the two of you. I want to talk about the NFL before going back to Ashley and her experience with you guys directly. The NFL has been prioritizing flag football in marketing, across the board, but also in marketing for the last several years. Thank you for the shout out for the Run With It ad with Deanna Flores. We also made one last year that has Ashley in it called Flag 50.
I was going to give you a shout out for that too. I was getting there. I was going to give you a shout out for that.
You don't have to shout me out. I'm just saying. But people ask, because it's the NFL, and that's the second round where I've seen this. Now I'm seeing a lot of other flag communication. What is the strategy for the NFL behind these big declarations of support?
Yeah, well, like I said earlier, like none of this is about advertising for us, right? I think, especially when it comes to a Super Bowl spot, like that's very intentional how you're using that stage. And so again, for us, it's always been about making a statement. And I think, you know, when you decide as the NFL to use your platform with that many people about flag football, that's sending a message and is meant to send a message to fans, to brands, to institutions, and most importantly, to little girls everywhere who want to play or girls who are playing, that this is real, it matters, and it's legitimate. And so I think both of those ads, which were beautifully done, you know, were not just about awareness for us. We're not just about awareness of flag, but it was really important that those ads also did something to perception. And when you're marketing at that scale, that shifts perception really, really quickly. So for us, those ads and where they were placed and the audience that they reached were all about making flag a legitimate, competitive, elite, and most importantly, an inclusive version of the sport. And so that's always sort of what the marketing that we've been doing around flag has been about, as well as elevating the profiles of these incredible athletes, but also rising stars. You know, like, you're going to hear Ashley Klam's name well up to and far beyond LA 28. And I think it also, you know, it's also meant to signal what this sport means and encourage more investment, encourage, you know, sponsorship that's more long-term, broadcast consistency. It's meant to really sort of activate the entire ecosystem. So I think that's always the intention when we do anything with a Super Bowl spot, but especially with the statement we've been trying to make that flag is not just a moment, but it's a movement.
Oh my God, thank God you answered that and not me. That's incredible. I am going to play that ad, see if you can spot Ashley the few times she's in it, and then I'll have you riff on the experience. Turn it up.
You're on thin ice, mister.
Hey, Principal P.
Stop kicking your principal. Everybody's on thin ice.
What's this? A Dorkosaurus Rex?
Come on, Chad. I don't want any trouble.
Leave him alone. I'll kick your butt, Chad.
Hey, Chad. Check out the new girl.
Ew, what is she wearing?
Girls don't play football.
They do where I'm from.
Get a load of this one. Think fast!
You think fast. Right in the Jimmy Johnson.
This ain't over.
We just getting started, Chad.
Get the flag!
Let's go, let's go! Get down, get down. Come on, there you go. Yeah.
Ooh, new girl bad.
Enough! Let's settle this once and for all. Your best guy?
Girl.
Whatever. Versus our best guy. The Brad.
Oh, not the Brad. I'm Brad.
I can read.
My body is burning. It starts to shout. Desire's coming. It breaks our heart. The night is calling.
There you go. You got folded up, Brad. Get her. Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
The hair.
I actually still think I have hairspray from that.
The hair. Having to do 80s jokes with a bunch of people who grew up in the 80s. Man, good sport. Thank you for playing along. Okay, so there's a lot of if you know, you knows in there, which I'm really proud of. I think that of course, we always want the average fan, and there's a lot of fans watching that who it's the only football game they watch a year, so arguable if they're a football fan yet. But we also need to serve the people who know and know and know. So a lot of your teammates in the field there, they are all cast from around the world. Some of the best flag players in the world, doing their best 80s version of it. What was that? What was that experience like for you?
Being able to do a commercial like that alongside real flag football players, international flag football players, NFL global ambassadors. It was so monumental for us, and it was a core memory that I have truly. And I look back, and I just told you I think I have that commercial literally memorized.
Me too.
Because of how many times I've watched it and how it is so surreal. We sit in these moments and we think, wow, I can't believe that we were able to create something like that for flag football and to be able to sanction women's high school flag football. I was able to represent my country, but I was never able to represent my high school. I didn't even be able to partake in a signing day, and a commercial like that, it's stopping that. It's telling these high schools and it's telling the states that you're going to be left behind, and let's do it all together. So I don't want any other girl to have to feel the way that I did whenever I was told, no, you can't do the signing day. And a commercial like that, it proves that.
Do you have, what was the most fun? Yeah. That's worth it. Is there a moment, a small story from that shoot that you recall most fondly, or scariest moment?
Oh my gosh, that entire shoot was, it was so much fun. One of my favorite parts was the fitting day. Being able to try on all of the clothes and then try on the hair. My least favorite part was probably the shower, trying to get all of the hair and brush it all out. I props to everyone who had to do that and had to go through that. I can't imagine that.
You're a good actor. We said we needed one of the players needs to be a kind of an actor and have a role in the hallway and make a face and say something. And I asked Vanita, I'm like, Vanita, you know everybody here. Like, she's the GOAT. Who is it? She goes, oh, it's Klam. It's Klam. Get Klam up there. She'll do the hair, too. It'll be good. All right. In our conversations about flag, I've noticed that sometimes you even jump past your playing career. You're talking about the job that you might have in the business of flag going forward, which suggests there is a vision you see of the world that has flag as a very thriving business ecosystem, which is very exciting. By the way, we still want you to play. Everybody's down with the gold medal. So make the main thing the main thing. But I want you to share with the folks here, how do you see the sport growing? When I ask you, like, what are the opportunities you see, what are they?
They're endless. If I can give one word to that question, they're endless. The opportunities are truly endless for women in flag football. And truly women in football. We are now at a place where we can call the football field our home, and people are starting to realize that. For the future, I want all 50 states to sanction high school flag football.
Let's go.
Give more opportunities. We now, University of Nebraska just offered McKenna Cook as the first D1 powerhouse school scholarship. So
yes. Woo! She is awesome.
Oh, she's great. But truly just giving girls more opportunities to play. We are pushing so hard for this sport. We're saying, okay, here, let's sanction high school, but you only have about 20 to 30 colleges that you can go to. And now that stops girls playing football right there. And so continuing to allow these opportunities, and then of course, the NFL Professional League. You cannot not talk about that moment, because now we are allowed to play professionally, and we're going to get there, and it is everything. The NFL has done such a phenomenal job at pushing our sport and showcasing to the younger girls that there's a clear pathway for this sport, to the younger girls and to their parents, that it does not just stop at high school. It doesn't just stop at a tournament. There is a pathway, and there are opportunities to high school, college, Olympics, and professional leagues.
Oh my God. I was asked yesterday in another panel what I thought, if I had a vision for what the sport would be like in 10 years, or what would be something we think could be a realistic outcome. And just came to mind, I think a Super Bowl for women's flag would be freaking amazing. I think we can make it happen if we just say it and sort of manifest it. So it's out there. If you are a brand who wants to help make that happen, Sarah, Carolyn, and Ashley are great advocates to help you with that. Okay, we're at the final couple minutes, so I'm going to do a slight speed. Actually, before I do a speed round, you have visibility of the gains statewide for it becoming a varsity sport. So we set a goal for the nation in our Super Bowl ad last year. Where was it? Where is it now? How are we doing on this? Because we want 50 by the Olympics, right?
Thank you. I'm so glad I checked the stats today.
Me too. I know. Gotcha.
Yep. You did say you were going to throw a gotcha at me. I don't know where it was when you did that ad, to be honest, because
14.
it's moved so quickly. 14?
14.
We're now at 35 states that offer girls' flag and 17 that are sanctioned professionally. I'm going to throw in over 100 plus sanctioned college programs for women. And just in January, the NCAA also announced that across all 3 of its divisions, there would be girls' flag collegiate programs. So the momentum is insane. It's incredible, and I think it's because of the work of, not just the NFL and not just the incredible athletes, but, the coalition of partners that are believing in it and helping to push it forward.
So can we get there by 2020? What's your forecast? When will we get there? How soon? For 50 states. Who's lagging, by the way? Who's not in it? Yeah, let's shout it. At this point, a shaming campaign might get it done.
Let's try to get all 50 by 2030.
Okay.
Let's try it.
Is it the Dakotas? Who's holding out? We'll find out.
Always the Dakotas. It's always.
Yeah, I will shout out to the NFL. If you're looking for another reason to love your favorite team or to find a team to love, they do incredible work on the legislative level in these states, advocating for flag, literally using their resources to try to get law passed for this to happen. So it's amazing. We are just about out of time. Before we go, I want to shout out Daniela, who's a flag football player who has competed against my flag football team when I was coaching a couple of years ago. And her coach, her dad, is here. What's our record?
Tony.
I think am I 0-1 against you? Oh, we're 1-1. Okay. Danny is incredible. I think linebacker and maybe receiver. Very shifty, very speedy. The fact that you're here, though, listening to this gives me even more hope. The fact that you're here gives me hope. The fact that you two in such support with your clear, we're just getting started vibes is so uplifting. So keep it going. I do invite all of you to surround these people, learn from them, and support what they're doing. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.